Okay, and we're finally back from hiatus. Hopefully, the audio will be a hell of a lot better than it was in the last 2 episodes of The Darkness.
We put effort into this.
Not that much.
A little bit.
So anyway, this is a game called Bloody Wolf. No one played it, because it was on the TurboGrafx 16, which was a console that sort of existed and then died.
Exist is a strong word.
Yeah. So, the console's main claim to fame was that it had 2 buttons, which were turbo buttons for its normal buttons. So it had button 1, button 2, and then turbo 1 and turbo 2. Like, built into their default controllers. This game doesn't make use of the turbo buttons at all, but it does make life a lot easier.
So, this is the thing that inspired Metal Gear, isn't it?
No. Not even close. I'm pretty sure Metal Gear 1 and 2 both existed by this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
The TurboGrafx was meant to compete with the Nintendo and the Genesis, but as it released, the Super Nintendo was released, and so it sort of came out at the wrong time and doomed itself.
So, Dreamcast.
Yeah, kind of, but not as successful. It does a couple things really good. Bloody Wolf is widely regarded as one of the better games on the console. Has a lot of really good pinball games, actually, which is a weird claim to fame.
Yeah. That motorcycle's OP as fuck.
Yeah, this was its action title. And it's actually really good.
Shotgun Man.
Yeah, so...
The most infamous of bosses.
The bosses in this game are very Metal Gear 1, where they're just kind of like Shotgun Man. It's like, I wonder what he does. Probably something to do with shotguns. It's junk like that, where it's like no characterization, but they actually do have some cool strategies. So this guy, once he gets knocked down to half health, summons bodyguards for him. The bodyguards you can't shoot, you can only stab them, which you do automatically at close range.
Yeah, I just saw.
In the top left, you can see the ammo for guns. Your default rifle has infinite ammo, but every other weapon does not. And you have grenades, and grenades are thrown up, which is weird because the game treats the entire screen as a flat surface, even though there are, like, multiple levels. So you can do weird, impossible shit where you throw, like, grenades up a cliff that they would logically, hit a wall or something like that.
You were on low health, and you were really trying not to be.
Yeah. So this game's actually pretty tough, but it's fairly well balanced in that you have unlimited continues, and it checkpoints you every screen. So... even though it's fucking hard and, like, kind of unfair in an old video gamey kind of way,
yeah,
as long as you stick with it, you can technically beat this whole game, like, without much trouble.
So it's one of those, like, games of attrition.
Kind of.
Oh god, I can see it chugging.
Yeah, no. TG16 was mostly known for its, like, the impressiveness of its sprites and not the impressiveness of its performance or animation technology.
Yeah,
so
its performance is not the best.
So this guy doesn't even get a name, it's just a submarine. All you gotta do is stand, like, just between its line of fire and shoot. But it does have one bullshit fuck you attack, which is right here. It fires torpedoes, and the torpedoes damage the land that you're standing on. So if you touch that water, you take damage. Now, you can only jump 2 squares, so if you position yourself wrong, you can just make it so that you have nowhere to go, and then the boss fight becomes impossibly tough.
That sounds bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like an older game, so bullshit's not entirely.
But as you can see right there, if you just sort of like hang around where it fires the first torpedo, you can get it to only create like a small hole in the ground. Also, whenever like a big boss dies, the screen freaks out and you have like cool after images and stuff.
That was quick.
Yeah, first level. Oh, by the way, the storyline is rescue the president from terrorists. Are You a Bad Enough Dude 2?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
We don't actually know anything about what the terrorists do, and we never really find out. They just kind of exist and fight because, yes.
Well, I mean, judging by their...
Also, look at this impressive helicopter animation.
Good lord. Judging by the command structure, you were promoted based on your gun. See Shotgun Man?
So, here's something fun. Explosive weapons can kill hostages.
Huh.
You don't get anything if you kill hostages, and hostages give you points, but they also, like, very frequently give you weapon pickups, unique power-ups, as you can see in that.
Is that a goddamn drone?
That is a goddamn drone. This game is so Metal Gear.
So you can see my confusion.
Yeah. So you see those items in the top right, the knife and the key?
Yeah.
People will actually give you, like, power-ups that you will keep for the majority of the game. So if I'm... Like, this is spoiling a couple seconds. Yeah, here he is. So this guy gives us fins. So now we can swim properly, which allows us to dive underwater, as opposed to normal, where you just kind of wade through the water.
I love rescuing tree people and getting fins.
Well, it's ridiculous, but, like, it's kind of Zelda-y, where if you rescue hostages, you can get cool stuff that will help you, like, tackle problems differently.
Dangerous to go and take this?
Kinda.
See, you were jumping on top of a fucking, like, tank trap.
Yeah.
How are you standing on top of that? Those things are meant to... No.
So here's the thing, if the thing you're standing on is quote-unquote not the ground, and it's not like a wall or something like that, like walls have barriers to prevent you from standing on them, but like these barricades and the tank traps, if you stand on them, you can't walk. Oh, this guy's the bastard, by the way. Flamethrower Man. He sucks because his weapon is huge, it hits like immediately, and you move too slowly to really dodge it, so you just kind of gotta out-DPS him.
Chuck grenades at his face.
That's a good tactic. All the bosses in this game have invulnerability frames after you hit them, but unlike a lot of games, it's not too unreasonable. It's like 1 or 2 frames. So you see, we can go underwater because we rescued that guy and got the fins. Hooray!
So if you don't rescue that guy, you're just sort of fucked here.
You never get the fins ever. That's the only point in the game where you can get them. So
this game's like an hour.
It's, you know, it's short, but it's meant to be played like an arcade game.
Yeah, true.
Also, you can't save. This was a game where originally you could not save. There was no password.
Oh God.
Yeah, it does not handle multiple things happening on screen at the same time very well.
Well, for the turbo graphics, I'll give it this. It's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it looks nice.
For its time.
Like, I mean, we're like NES Genesis era, so like right before the Super Nintendo was when this came out. I suppose I should explain the enemy types if you haven't already grasped that. The green guys are standard. All the enemies in this game come in 2 varieties, where they'll either move towards you and fire, or they'll like stand still and fire. The ones that stand still fire much more frequently. The green guys are your average schmucks. The red guys usually have some sort of like special weapon.
That's a helicopter.
And the blue guys have like rapid fire.
That's a helicopter.
So yeah, now we have to kill this hindy.
I'm getting into this hind now.
It actually looks like the hindy from Metal Gear 1. But yeah, this is pretty much just a repeat of the sub-fight, except that it can't destroy the ground, which actually makes it quite a bit easier.
It looks easier. I mean, I'm sure that this game gets a lot more difficult. I'm sure it would whoop my ass, but I seem to be having an easy time.
I've actually, the first time I played this game, I died like 1 billion times at every single like fight and level.
Yeah.
And I only got through it because of attrition. This is my 4th playthrough. I'm actually kind of good at this, not to toot my own horn.
Nice.
So there are no cuts for like deaths. In the second half of these videos, I do cut because I die like 50-something times.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't show that because no one wants to watch me get wrecked by the same boss over and over again.
I do.
Shush you. Also, this area is not one of my favorites. The vertical element in this game is kind of spotty because enemy bullets work like your grenades, but your bullets don't. So
you can't shoot up a cliff?
Yeah, so enemies will shoot... Oh,
a log?
Yeah, these logs are terrible. If they hit you once, you die. They just do infinity damage. But yeah, there is some stuff in this game where it's like kind of spotty with the y-axis, because like the world is flat, but it isn't.
Yeah. The fact that
enemies and enemy bullets exist everywhere on the y-axis. Your grenades exist everywhere on the y-axis, and there's like some boss attacks that do that. But yeah. Also, slow down. It's your friend sometimes.
You jumped into the falling log.
Yeah. So here's the continue screen. As long as you hit the run button, the start button on most controllers, you just respawn. Pretty close to where you died, too.
The fact that falling logs are more dangerous than drones, that's... what the hell?
See, but here's the thing. Some of the stuff you can get from hostages and POWs, like the muscle emphasis tablets that I got very early on, if you die, you lose them. So you may notice that I only have 3 life points instead of 4, like I used to.
Oh, God.
So, the way this game works is sort of like Contra, where as long as you can keep your momentum, you actually keep doing better and better and better.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, I don't exactly have a metaphor for that. Basically, don't die and things will be easier.
Suck less.
Yeah, the third playthrough I did of this, if I died ever, I just restarted, and it was way easier than my first playthrough where I just checkpointed all the time.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, most of these caves are not actual doorways. Some of them are, but
That's kind of bullshit.
yeah, it's way nicer with the houses because you can at least like most of them are like boarded up or ruined to indicate. But this is a good example of like instances where you want to use your grenades to like snipe, which is a totally weird thing.
The game gives you a lot of them.
Yeah. But yeah, you're like the grenades you're not really meant to use for crowds. They're mainly used to defeat armor guys, who you have to knife otherwise, and to hit enemies at awkward positions.
Yeah, I've noticed that's basically what you've been doing.
You'll die if you fall.
Thank you.
Good to know. Good to know.
Also, fire's hot. Logs. Most dangerous of enemies.
So, we're about to come to what is probably the most dickish boss in the whole game.
That guy fell to his death.
And if I remember right... yeah.
That's appropriate, considering everything that was going. Oh, you start back here.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do a screen transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is mildly impressive, considering scrolling. That thing shoots beams?
Yeah, so its main purpose is that it shoots beams either horizontally or vertically to prevent you from skipping past it without destroying it. Most of the other enemies you can just, like, run past if you're fast enough.
That's all.
Also, the armored guys have a tendency to just run past you.
And I noticed you can shoot them in the back.
Mm-hmm. So, here he is. Big sniper.
I wonder if he's a bit of a wolf.
And I had to edit out, like, 4 deaths there.
He's a particle beam?
Yeah, so here's
What the crap?
Here's this guy's gimmick. He deflects bullets with his sniper rifle, and his sniper rifle charges up, firing like a shoot-blue laser. You can only deal damage to him when he lands, which I did not remember at all. Also, can we just touch on how fucking crazy it is that this guy can deflect bullets with his gun?
Well-made gun.
True.
Though I wouldn't complain about the quality of a gun if it shoots giant shoot-the-whoop lasers. That's awesome. Also, he is ripped.
Yeah, no, all the bosses in this game are like twice as big as you, and you're implied to be absurdly in shape. But yeah, besides, once you've got this guy's pattern down, you know how to do damage to him, he's not that bad. It's just such a weird thing to like... because he's immune to everything.
It's weird.
Right?
Have some grenades. No.
Excuse me while I deflect it with my gun. Ting.
Oh, now he's dead. He fell off the bridge. How appropriate. I've arrived. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this whole thing in Snake's voice in my head.
It's better if you do that, honestly.
Yeah. I haven't snorted enough rock salt, but I think I can do it.
So, what's kind of neat about this game is that it actually has some pretty decent set pieces. Like...
for TurboGrafx, yeah.
Well, no, I mean just for old games in general, because a lot of older games have, like, level then boss or whatever. Also, that's cheap. I hate that cliff, but, like, here's what I mean. Mario has like a level and then a boss,
Yeah,
for example.
that's a lot of demands.
Yeah, and like most platformers of the time did the same thing. This actually has like bosses that fight in like unique ways from each other that require different tactics,
Muscle emphasis tablets, almost like steroids.
but totally not. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Motorcycles are good.
That's a good lesson for the kids. Don't do drugs. Ride motorcycles. Alright.
So we're about to rescue the president and defeat the terrorist leader, who is holed up in an asylum to the north.
You're kidding, right?
No, that's actually what's happening.
Oh. Well, that didn't take very long.
Nope.
I like how one of the... Oh, god damn it. One of the main attacks of the motorcycle is just bitch slapping people with the back wheels.
Yeah.
They just... Oh, god.
These flamethrower guys are the worst.
Slow down's your friend.
So one of the weaknesses of the TurboGrafx is that almost all of its like games have really, really not bad music, but it's just really like blippy, you know?
It's kind of generic.
Kind of.
I don't know.
Its sound chip wasn't very good, is what I'm getting at.
It sounds to me like it's kind of off-brand to Mega Man.
So here's the best thing. The villain is called Boss, and the first time you fight him, he disables all of your weapons with a boomerang. I don't know.
What?
And you have to knife fight him to death. And I died a whole bunch.
He just throws boomerangs?
He just throws boomerangs and you have to knife fight him. Like, think about how weird and complex this is for a fucking, like, TurboGrafx game.
And he has a fucking charge cannon. Those are the worst boomerangs. They don't even come back. They like home in at you. That's not how boomerangs do.
So, I'm just gonna say it. The boss is fucking bullshit. All of his health, he like, it's not like the other bosses where every shot takes away one bit and then they're invincible for a while. He's just, like, he just soaks damage.
Yeah. Okay, I'll trust you. That's a...
Tell me what to do.
What kind of president says that?
Please follow me. And so we're not going to take a secret entrance or something like that. We're just going to lead the president out of here.
With a knife?
Also, yeah, you don't get your guns back.
Is he invulnerable?
Yes, thankfully.
My god. So you just knife fight your way out of this
Yes.
Doom Fortress.
Yes. This game is awesome.
Are you using him to soak bullets for you?
No, I'm just dodging side to side. He doesn't soak, or he doesn't, he can't be hit, and he can't die.
That's good. Oh, God. I'm impressed. You haven't been hit.
Yeah, no. After I died like 5 times to the boss, I was just like on my A game.
Oh, you got hit twice on that other, so.
Yeah, just watched out. Yeah.
And now you die. Well, I withdraw all praise. You suck.
So the best way to do this is just hold down the turbo attack button and just spin around in a circle. 9 times out of 10, it kills most things.
As you just run away from everybody.
Yeah, just run, really.
They just don't care.
You do have grenades here, which does make this a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
I'm not sure whether I just forgot or I was like, no, I'm not going to use grenades. Knife only.
In retrospect, that was probably a bad idea.
But here we go. Gonna rescue the president.
This impressive helicopter. Yeah. You are safe, Miss Bridget. Ah, yes. The best character. Soldier.
Here's the best thing, though. We didn't expect this many. There's only room for one more. So we gotta send the president on without us. That's what we get for rescuing hostages.
But what do you mean you didn't expect this many? You sent the helicopter out to rescue the president and the guy who rescued... What? That's just dumb.
So, helicopter leaves us to our doom. 1 health.
That's a lot of mans.
Yeah, a whole bunch of mans and a knife. And that's where we end.
See you.